What are your general thoughts on this reshuffle by the president within the context, by calls from the government?
If we are in power, we will not have more than 23 ministers managing this small country of ours.
Is Katie Hammond, Honorable Katie Hammond, a good replacement to head the trade ministry?
You need people who understand what they are going there to do, because he doesn't have a clue what he was going there to do. He's now going to learn on the job.
Some of the challenges that you saw in the communities that you went.
Able men and women, young men and women, doing working hours, and they are wasting their lives at the appetition bar.
What are your general assessments of the current state of Agric, the whole sector? Are you satisfied with the efforts made by the Agric Ministry in developing the sector?
He spent more time trying to plant billboards all over, planting for food and jobs. And where are the jobs?
Good evening. Ghana is in the week of mourning as we mourn the unfortunate passing of the football star Christian Atsu. From the thehardtruth team, we extend our heartfelt condolences to his family and loved ones. May his soul rest in peace. Today, we'll be looking at the vetting of ministerial nominees by the Appointment Committee of Parliament and related issues. We'll explore the kind of impact we can expect from the president's nominee in their respective ministries. We'll also explore the calls by the minority in Parliament for a secret ballot and whether it will yield any meaningful results. To discuss these issues and more, I have with me Mr. Percival Kofi Akpaloo, founder of the Liberal Party of Ghana, and you are watching The Hard Truth. My name is Nana Akosua Konadu. Kofi, welcome to The Hard Truth.
Thank you.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well.
Good. But Kofi, last Saturday we were all devastated when it was confirmed that Christian Atsu had passed or he was no more. I'm sure you have been following the issues and, heard some of the things that he did. What are your thoughts and memories of him?
Actually, I don't know much about him, but the little that I know is same playing for Chelsea and Newcastle. Yeah, and then also maybe what I can remember so far is the last goal that he scored the day before he passed on. So that's a little bit I know about him. I don't know much about him.
But to bring the questions to our own country, in our situation, we have seen an increase in systemic activities in recent times on earth tremors, that can be felt in areas in Accra, especially Wager through to Agric. Now, do you think we are ready as a country to handle an earthquake and its consequences?
I don't think we are ready. Even when we have even heavy flood in this country, I don't think we'll be able to survive because we are not ready. Looking at the way we've put our structures unorganized and everything, seems clearly that we are not ready for any kind of
so I want to know your your thoughts on the continuous construction of buildings at earthquake-prone areas, where I mentioned that debris and all that, and the warnings by the Ghana Geological Survey Authority, and that we should do the right thing, but they're still saying. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, actually, that is the problem with the permits, building permits and all those kind of stuff being handled by those in the assembly. The engineers at the assembly are not helping us. And sometimes I even ask myself whether we have those engineers, the city engineers and the rest, whether we have them or not. Because anybody can just erect a structure anywhere.
No, but we do. So they are warning. So they are telling us to not build at certain areas, but they are sweating. We keep on building.
So you remove them.
Remove who?
Yeah, you don't need to let people build it, because when somebody starts something and you go and then you remove it, definitely the next person will not try. But you allow people to put structures anywhere, and then you wait till something happens, and then you go in there and say, "Oh, let's remove this." We are not serious. We are seriously not serious as a people. We lack leadership in this country.
But the government has been advised to give attention to systemic technology by allocating resources for research in that field. Is it something you are ready to consider? Your party, is it something you're ready to consider as a government, an LPG government, and how would you go about it?
Oh, funding research and development, I mean, is part of our manifesto because we believe that we are where we are because we refuse to invest in research and development. So we will support it 100%, and funding will definitely come.
So they are not serious. So what do you? That's what you said to the government or people who are in charge of that. What would you tell them? They are not in power yet. What would you tell them now? What must be done
Yeah, they
immediately?
must be proactive. They must be proactive. And then we should feel their professionalism. I mean, they should work for us to feel that, oh, these guys, we train them. We spent money on them to go to university and polytechnics and the rest. And we've invested a lot in them. So they should exhibit that. But what they believe is the pay. What they are interested in is how much they earn at the end of the month.
But
Without doing
shouldn't
any
that be a motivation for any person who works? I mean, how much?
yeah, no, when you're working and you're getting money, fair enough. But these guys, they're not working, but they're getting money. Yeah, they're just receiving remuneration without providing any service because you sit down somewhere and they know that this place is a water body and you allow people to build whatever structures they can for so many years until something disaster happens before you act. You go to many buildings, we don't have exits. So many structures in this country that you go there and there's no exit in case there's a fire outbreak. Even at the university, some of the buildings there, So we go to some universities, their lecture halls or their classrooms, and they have only one door. So if something happens, what will happen? It means we don't even think properly when we are putting these structures. So it's all over, everywhere, every sphere of this country, wherever, all the industries. When you go there, you see that people are not. In fact, I don't know what word I will use to describe, but that's the case because we have problem, serious problem. We need to reorient ourselves as a people and then begin to do things differently.
But if the government is not doing, people in charge are not working, why can't the individuals know that I'm not in a safe zone and that I should even put the buildings here? How much education would go down for people to actually move and relocate to other places?
Yeah, who is going to give that education? Because the people themselves, they don't know. So who is going to provide the education? I don't think the leadership must provide leadership. They should be seen doing something for the remuneration that they take. Those are the ministries, those are the district level. They should do something. They should act. They shouldn't wait. Because sometimes, when you are driving along the streets and then you see people erecting these container kiosks, all these rubbish.
So what would you do? Let's say there's an election tomorrow. What would you do? Would you just collapse all these buildings? And are you going to do that?
When I become president?
Yeah.
No, you don't see those things there.
You won't see it.
No,
so
no.
how you go about it?
Because if you don't do it, we'll fire you. What is the work of the local government minister? The local government minister is responsible for those.
So you pull all those buildings and those places down.
If you're not supposed to be there, why should they be there? We have to take them off. The local minister must be seen working, but they're not working. If they're seriously working, we'll have all these structures. Yesterday I was at a place, and in fact, what I saw was an eyesore because, you look at the community, see that the place is a very neat place, and but somebody has started this beer bar or pub or whatever they call it, and then the guy has put his what do you call it, the speakers outside,
Making noise.
Making noise. You go around the city, you see people, the preachers or whatever, they are making noise, and somebody is selling. He has a shop, and then he bring all his words from the shop inside to the pavement. We are not serious. When I become president, all those things will stop.
They'll stop.
Oh, yes.
But the hawkers vote for you with this.
They know they can keep their vote because right thing must be done.
I see. The president did a ministerial reshuffle which affected the ministries of Trade, Agric, and the Chieftaincy. Katie Amon, or not Katie Amon, will be moving to trade, Brian Achampon for food and agriculture, and then Stephen Asamoah Boateng for chieftaincy. The vetting started yesterday. Before we discuss this issue, what are your general thoughts on this reshuffle by the president within the context, by calls from the government?
I think the president hasn't done any reshuffle yet, because some people decided to leave their position to go and contest for the MPP flag bearership. So to me, that place, the president hasn't done any reshuffle yet.
It's just a replacement.
Yes, a replacement. And then even the chieftaincy minister, he also resigned. So basically, they have to be replaced. And I think nobody will say we shouldn't replace them, especially with the trade ministry and then also the Agric ministry. It's very important ministries, and they need to have somebody occupying those ministries.
Right, but that's a means to compel the president to reduce the number of ministries in his government. The NDC directed the minority caucus in parliament not to approve the ministerial nominees. What do you make of this approach?
They came out with some will say a laudable suggestion that the president should be able to consolidate some of the ministries, maybe collapse them, but they didn't provide proper alternative. You understand?
Kofi,
so, like LPG government, we will rather reduce it to 23. We will have not more than 23 ministers. If you are in power, we will not have more than 23 ministers managing this small country of ours. Because I don't think we need a separate ministry for sports. We should be able to add it to education. Planning and all those kind of stuff, that ministry should be added to finance. And then taking fishery and aquaculture should be added to Agric ministry. And then sanitation, and then even housing. I don't think we should have even a separate ministry for housing. Housing and sanitation should be added to local government ministry.
I see. But I'm thinking, why is it difficult for the president to look at a reshuffle holistically? I mean, as a whole, why is he just replacing and not doing a proper reshuffle? What are the reasons?
Hey, some people have helped him to get him to where he is. They contributed in many ways, and you have to find them something to also appease them. So
is it job for the boys or the men?
That's how it is. That's how it is. You have to, because
at the expense of the of us.
Yeah, because before he won, they went round, and then people, the illiterate, they took money from them. They took money from them. And they didn't think that when they were taking those monies, eventually that money must be paid. And who's going to pay that? The people should find something to do to get their monies back.
Okay, so they are being there for what? As a replacement to pay them back?
Definitely. They have to, because you go to the MPs. The MPs, before they become parliamentary candidates, they have to pay to the delegates, which me and you, we are aware that they pay thousands or 2,000 of CDs to people to get them. So if you have, let's say, 500 delegates and the person gives them 2,000 each, it's 1 million Ghana cedis. So the person doesn't need to be compensated to get something to get his money back. We have allowed all these things to go on. When we are doing the national elections, people will go around, be sharing money, sharing bentua, sharing TV, sharing clothing. Everything is going on. And then we just close our eyes, thinking that those things are coming from the moon or something like that. It's our money. So those monies must be paid until we all come together and say, hey, we are about this. We're not going to allow these things to continue. So then we can now say, NDC, they are making noise out there. They are making noise, but they are not providing any alternative.
But the caucus, again, the minority caucus is pushing for a secret balloting for the approval of the ministerial nominee instead of a consensus vote at the level of the appointment committee. Did you think this is the way to go? Or will it make any difference?
In fact, this new minority leadership have allowed themselves to be controlled by Adabraka, which is not Good.
Who is that? Who is that Abraka?
That's the NDC headquarters. They and Fifi Kote. They are controlling them. It seems as if they don't have senses on their own. Because why should you?
Why do you say that?
Because they just released a letter saying that they should not approve the government nominees, the president nominees. I mean, what is all this? Do you have to write a letter? Do you want them to comply? You know, it doesn't make sense. They could have maybe sat with them in their chamber somewhere and tell them what they should do. By releasing a letter, what is the meaning of that letter? To me, it doesn't make sense for them to release that letter. So, but they are there, or they were there, trying to interview those guys to see whether they qualify for the position. I mean, they're just wasting everybody's time. This minority is not serious.
They're not serious.
Not at all.
Honorable Mohammed, Amin Adam and Osoibun Swamwa were appointed as Ministers of State and the Finance Ministry and Local Government, respectively. Some argue that we don't need Ministers of State. What is your general view on the appointment of Ministers of State?
Actually, they were there. They were there as Deputy Ministers. So they're just being elevated to status of Minister of State.
Right. So what are your views on that, Minister of State? What are your general views on
actually, I don't even know the role. I don't even know the role, the difference between Minister of State and then also what do you call that one, the Deputy Minister, because we still have the Substantial Minister. So I don't know. Maybe there's certain powers that
finance, Minister of State for finance.
For maybe they'll be able to sign some document or whatever, some contract or some projects. That is why they've given them that status. Other than that, I don't see anything. Because maybe the deputy minister cannot sign certain...
they are just there to sign things? That's what you're saying?
Oh, because there are certain things that with that, maybe in the absence of the substantive minister, the deputy minister cannot do. But maybe the Minister of State can do something of that nature.
Katie Hammond, Honorable Katie Hammond is going to trade. But before we discuss him, what do you make of Alan Chimantin's work at the Trade Ministry? Did he do a good job in your opinion?
Oh yeah, he did a great job.
Why would you say that?
I mean, we need to applaud him. He did a very good job. He did well because there were a lot of initiatives that went on, like this after the one district, one factory, and a whole lot. So
do you see the district one factory? Why are the district one factory?
They are there. They are at different stages of completion. So some are working. Not all of them are working, and they have been able to also revive some of the existing businesses, like giving them some stimulus packages to enable them to, re-energize and giving them the go-ahead to do whatever they are doing, like the Aqua Farms. I've worked with Aqua Farms before, and I knew the stage it was before the government intervention. I mean, now you can see that Aqua Farms is bouncing back and they are doing well. And then also Casapreco. You can see now Casapreco is doing far, far better than before. So, because of the government intervention. NS chemists, you can see NS chemists all over the country. Wherever you go, you'll see one. Or maybe after every...
so the government help these institutions?
Oh, yes, they help them. And so it's good. It's good because I'm somebody who believes in helping our own to make it. Because if you don't build your own, who's going to build it for you? So I'm all for it.
You're still watching The Hard Truth. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Hard Truth, founder of the Liberal Party of Ghana, LPG. And when Somiha, na Somiha, na Yankonkwa.
No, when you say LPG, then
LPG.
you respond Yankonkwa.
Yankonkwa.
And when you say LPG for the second time, then you respond Somiha. Na Somiha. Na Yankonkwa. And then on the third time, you say Ayan Sroma. Yes, shrink.
Wow.
Or you can do Kekele.
Kekele.
Yeah. So we are brightening.
I see.
We are shining. So,
I see.
The symbol is star. So we are brightening.
I see. Now, back on the issue on trade, is Katie Hammond, Honorable Katie Hammond, a good replacement to head the trade ministry?
Honestly, I have my doubts.
I'm listening.
Because after listening to him, I realized that no, he can't handle it.
Because during his vetting, he was very combative. He seemed not to be so much on top of the issues. And so what are your thoughts on his temperament and composure and delivery during the vetting? Oh,
actually, we all know Katie. That is somebody, that is his nature. But for that one, I don't have a problem with his
temperament.
Okay. But the job, he's not going to learn on the job.
Why do you say that?
If they have sent him to energy, he would do better, or he would have done better than, because when they asked him question relating to trade, he was trying to find a way to run away from it because he doesn't have a clue what he was going there to do.
Wasn't he prepared for the vetting?
No, he's not prepared. He doesn't know what goes in there. But
does it matter? Your background. I mean, shouldn't we give people the opportunity to just go there and learn the job? Or
the government has only 2 years, even less than 2 years. So you don't need somebody to go and experiment anything. You need people who understand what they are going there to do. I can tell you, the man has no clue what he's going there to do.
His performance also attracted a lot of reactions and comments on social media, and many of the comments suggested that he's not qualified, like you're saying, for the position, and it's just jobs for the men. Is it how you see that? We just giving him something because maybe he's close to the president?
For that one, I won't say that. But from where I'm sitting and what I saw him doing over there, to me, he can't handle the position. The government or the president can look at it again and maybe offer him something different. Maybe send him to energy. For this particular trade, he can't.
You can't handle it?
No, he can't. Though they have technical men over there who do the job.
So that's what I'm saying. You can learn on the job.
Yeah, but you as the leader must have a vision, and doesn't have any vision going there.
Katie Hammond doesn't have any vision going to trade.
He can't add anything to trade ministry. I'm telling you, just going there because everything is, the cabinet has this, cabinet has that, cabinet. So it's just going there because of what cabinet has. But he himself doesn't have anything that is going to add. So to me, I would suggest the president should withdraw his nomination and then get him a different portfolio. But this particular one, he can't handle it.
So let's say he's approved. So if approved, what should be his priority as a minister?
To me, if it's not about job creation, what else? We must have something that will create the jobs. We must have something that will support the local industries to be able to produce everything that we use here, especially what we use here. Because our concentration has been on export. We are trying to produce something to export, but we tend to forget that we import a lot. So the focus and the drive should be on what we use. So if he will be able to come out with a program that will assist our businessmen and women to be able to produce at least 90% of what we consume here, I will just applaud, because that is the only thing that we need. That is the only thing that we are lacking.
You should add on. You should add on to the job creation.
Oh yeah, because if we start producing, we are creating jobs. If we start producing this shirt that I'm wearing, this jeans, the mobile phones.
You're creating jobs.
You're creating jobs. Even if you can support poultry farmers to produce instead of importing poultry, you are creating jobs.
I see.
Yeah.
So
rice production. Why should we import rice to this country? So if we cannot come out with any program that will support farmers to go in there to produce rice, to produce poultry, fish, then we are doing nothing.
So what people say that we hear a lot that Alan should have waited, or an honorable chairman shouldn't have resigned. He resigned too soon. Is that how you see it?
Oh no, I think he has an ambition. He wants to be president, and he has made it known to everybody since. Yeah. So for working for 6 years,
is it too soon? I mean, should have waited to maybe the end of the year. Is that how you see it?
Oh, needed more time to go around to campaign to the delegates for them to give him the nod. He's a fine gentleman. He's a fine gentleman, no doubt about it.
Okay, so let's talk about him a bit. Do you think he has any chance of, becoming the flag bearer of the NPP?
Yeah, if you ask me, I would say he stands tall among all his compatriots.
All the names we hear.
Oh yeah, I mean, you will win.
Even Baumia, even the
but Baumia cannot beat Alan.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, from what I know, you see, it's not everything that I can disclose here, but from what I know and because as a party, we are not sitting down, just sitting down. We have to see what other people are doing, what they are doing. We need to listen. We need to listen to what other people are saying. And I can tell you, Alan will win.
Japan, honorable Japan won't come close.
No. The race between Alan and the rest. Alan will win.
I see.
Yeah.
So what are your general assessments of the current state of Agric, the whole sector? Are you satisfied with the efforts made by the Agric Ministry in developing the sector?
He spent more time trying to plant billboards instead of planting food for jobs and all those kind of stuff. He was all over planting billboards, so you can see. Yeah.
Planting billboards were on what? What was written on the boards?
Yeah, because he wanted to be president.
But he resigned and then...
No, even before then, he was all over. His concentration, because, his friend is the president. So he realized that the president has been president, so he too can be president. Because, that's my body. If my body has been president, why not me? And me, my dad started the liberation, whatever, what they call it, them people, their mother part, what is the name? Something liberation. His dad, the Bafakoto, was in charge. He started everything. So he believed that the history is there for him, so people should go for him.
I think the guy worked at the Agric Ministry. I mean, let's talk about his performance a bit. Did he perform at the Agric Ministry, in your opinion, apart from planting billboards?
In my opinion, so far as we are importing rice and we are importing poultry, you can't tell me he did anything. Yeah, because we are importing basically everything that we consume. So rice, how long will it take to grow rice? 4 months, 6 months, it should be ready.
So the guy did nothing.
Poultry, chicken, maximum 3 months, it should be ready. Broiler should be ready. So if for 6 years, he couldn't help us to stop importation of poultry, and we are still importing.
I realize at a point we're having a lot of food. I mean, from
it's
all over.
Yeah, which one? Plantain,
onions, tomatoes.
No, government didn't do anything to help the farmers to plant plantain. What did they do? If you can tell me one single policy that they said they are giving to farmers who are going to
give them fertilizers.
Free?
Yeah, I think so.
No, there's nothing like free fertilizer here to plant plantain or cassava.
I don't know.
No, there's nothing like that. Even the planting for food and jobs, it was rice, sorghum, and those things. But so to me, you didn't do anything that you can pinpoint. You didn't do anything that I can pinpoint. The only thing they did was that when prices of foodstuffs were going up because of the petroleum products going up. So
They increase the price of foodstuffs.
Exactly. And then he tried to help the farmers to bring their foodstuffs to his ministry.
We're buying from there.
Yeah, but he forgot that we have people in Takrady who also needed that food. You know, so that was a 9-day wonder.
So he failed as a minister.
I will not use any adjective, but I would say, to the best of my knowledge, he didn't do anything new that I can pinpoint by saying, oh, he did this, he did that, so he did well as a Agric minister. But
the guy wants to be president. What's your take on that?
Oh, for presidency,
he wants to lead a party.
No, so he's an MPP.
Yeah.
He's an MPP. His father started MPP. His father financed MPP. So it's his property. So he has every right to contest as a flag bearer or whatever of the party. For that one, there nobody can fight him. Yes, but it all depends on the delegates. You know, all depends on the delegates. If the delegates will say, "Oh, Akoto, you did well," you know, sometimes the way you talk to people, they'll play back to you. When the time comes and you say you want them to support you, we go, "Oh, last time we came to your office, you shouted at us. Oh, the last time we were close to you, and then you know, your demeanor, your human relations will all play back." So it's not easy. There's people who just vote for you to become a flag bearer.
So what are you saying? He had issues with people? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. But, you know, you should ask yourself, when you get there, you know, you go to the people and then say, "Oh, Charlie, guys, vote for me." You say, "Look at you. Oh, last time I buy and one who I didn't idea and I was in Obama. Whoa, the Obama was the other way. But yet, you see. So these are the things that we should look at.
Honorable Brian, a champion will be leading that sector you've approved, as Agric sector you've approved. He served as a Minister of State at the Ministry of Interior during President Akosua Konadoo's first term. He is the chairperson of the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament, and he is the right man for the job. I don't know. Let me just ask whether he is the right man for the job, and what are your expectations of him?
That guy, Brian the champion, I will tip him. That guy, he's wonderful young man.
Why do you say that?
Go back to Kou and see what he has done at Kou. These are the kind of guys we need to give certain positions.
The Rock City guy?
Not the Rock City. Not the Rock. Rock City is a personal thing. But the way he's mobilizing the Kou businessmen and women, the way he's bringing them together to develop Kou enclave, I mean, it's fantastic.
But the Rock City is, it's his personal property, but that's a very
because even taking that initiative, building that kind of facility at Kou, somebody would have thought, "Oh, let me go and put it in Accra, because that's where businesses and everything is happening." Why? But he has a different vision. I just love him. Brian is fantastic, and I'll give him all the necessary support.
So he's good for the Agric ministry?
Oh yes, he's more than good for Agric ministry.
I see. Now, Planting for the Food and Jobs is a flagship program for the ministry. From where you sit, has the program been successful, and what are your thoughts on it, and what should change, and what would you recommend?
Where are the jobs?
Honorable champion.
Yeah, where are the jobs? The jobs, you can feel the jobs. Planting for food and jobs. And where are the jobs? Somebody will say, "Oh, we have so many farmers." But where are the farmers? The farmers were there.
They didn't add on?
No. Because any job, that they will not pay your SNET. They will not pay your PAYE. Where is that job? So, to me, it didn't work well. But if Brian, I know his capability, and I believe that he will also listen to go into commercial farming, making sure he find money, give to. We don't need more than 10 farmers, solid farmers.
You don't need more than 10 solid farmers.
Yeah, 10 strong farmers. Give them money. Let them quadruple what they produce. 10 farmers. Give them money. All those money that went into
for the whole 30+ million people, we only need 10,
only
not more than 10 farmers.
10 farmers.
Hey, Kofi.
And said, these 10 farmers, I'm giving you funding to enable you to produce more than we need in this country. That's where they will create the jobs. That's where they will produce to feed ourselves. But if you scatter it like that, and people are doing at their garden, people are doing this, tomato here, tomato there, they cannot sell. They will only plant and eat, and they will not create any job. No, I'm serious. You see, but when you have 10 people and you give them, let's say, you give them 100 million, 10 million, I say, I want you to use the 10 million, plant maize, plant rice. One farmer can plant all the maize that we will need to feed poultry.
I see.
I'm telling you.
I see. So what's your general view? Are you done with that?
Oh yeah, that's the way forward. Industrial farming, commercial farming, not what you are doing here. This peasant farming or whatever.
No, but that's what they feed on. That's what
that's what we've been doing. That's what we've been doing all these years.
Their lives are dependent on what they. I mean, what are you saying?
No, that's why we are.
Someone is in somewhere, even let's say Accra here. He has a small farm. That is where his livelihood is. What's wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. But that's why we are poor, because we don't produce to sell. Okay.
But he sells. Whoever sells it.
Oh, Akosua.
Oh my goodness! So what are your general thoughts when it comes to the role of the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Relations?
Chieftaincy. I don't see. We need any ministry called Chieftaincy. We need to collapse that ministry. We don't need it.
Why?
We're just a waste of money. We need to add that as a department to tourism. And then even that tourism, we have to add it to local government. Even the tourism itself, we don't need a ministry called tourism. It should be a department, the Department of Tourism. Okay? We don't need it. We have to add it to local government. The reason why I'm talking about local government is that local government, you see, that's the home. Okay? We should plan it together. So if you say, oh, this area, we want to attract tourists to this area, you can spend money, you can invest money there, and people will go there. So there should be just a department.
We don't need the chieftaincy department or ministry.
To work with the chiefs.
But that's what we have. So former SIGA boss, Mr. Samuel Boateng, is what's called the minister.
No, Samuel Boateng is my brother. It's my senior brother.
He did a good job at SIGA. A lot
for that one, I applaud him. For that one, there's no doubt about it.
Do you have high, expectations of him, and what should he do when he gets to the chieftaincy that you don't think should be a ministry?
No, we don't need that ministry, but because maybe the president can change and bring him to trade. As I'm about to do better as trade than KTM. So the president should change and bring Boateng to trade ministry. That's how I can say. That's what I can say.
So yes. So now there is Chieftaincy Ministry.
Yeah.
So let's say the president says no.
It. So I don't need to. I'm not like NDC who will say don't approve them, but they go and sit at the interview. No. We don't need it, so I don't want to even talk about it. That ministry should be collapsed. We should collapse it and add it to local government ministry. We don't need anything called chieftaincy for. What are the chiefs doing? That we need to have a separate ministry for them.
You don't think the chiefs contribute so much to
what Agrada is doing, the religious? We don't need it. We don't need. That's a department.
You don't think that the chiefs are contributing so much to society, hence, they need to get that ministry for them?
Most of our problems are coming from that area. Our problems here in Ghana. Because, you see, in the olden days, when we were young, I was living at Ashanti Town in Kumasi. And then when you look at the demarcation, the outlay or whatever, the landscape and all.
The landscape.
Everything was on point. Now that we have our own people leading the chiefs and whatever. They go to any place and just divide the land and then apportion the land and sell the land anyhow without even allocating places for schools, markets, and the rest. Even school football pitches, they've sold all of them. So that's why now when you go to AFCON, we are not able to perform because our kids don't have places to play football.
Because our chiefs have sold the lands.
Yes. They will even sell it multiple times. That's the pain of this country, that chieftaincy thing.
And that's why we are not performing at AFCON, because the chiefs have sold the lands.
So where would the kids practice? Where would the kids learn football skills?
Which ministries are performing better, in your opinion, in Ghana right now?
ESLA, Communication Ministry. Yeah, they are doing very, very well.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, because if you look at this digitalization drive, you can see they are doing a very good job there. It's like they are moving quicker than some of us thought. So they are doing well. And we need to help them to do it better. If you take maybe energy ministry, because we don't have dumso like we used to have. So I would say maybe for keeping the lights on, I will give them, I would say they are doing well.
And the third one?
And then the road ministry. The road ministry, if you look around.
Why would you mention roads? Because most of our roads are still very horrible.
Oh, they've done a lot. They've done a lot. They've done a lot.
But couldn't you have done better?
Oh, they've
6 years. I was thinking all the roads were supposed to be in good shape by now.
Yes, but they've done a lot. They've done a lot.
Is the minister your friend?
Oh, no. That gentleman, when he call him, he will not pick. So how can he be your friend? But the thing is that, from what I see, is what I would say, he has done a lot.
How? What has he done?
Because I've drove around the country and I've seen improvement on our roads, especially in Kumasi, for instance. It's almost like almost all the roads in Kumasi are tiled.
They're tiled now.
Yeah. And when it comes to Accra, you can see most roads are tiled now with asphalt, not like before. Yeah, they are doing well. They are doing well.
And which ministries aren't performing?
Maybe another time.
No, please. I mean, if you can give us the highs,
another time. I'll leave that one to another time.
Why?
I have my own.
If you want to be president, if you want to be a leader, you should be able to.
The Holy Spirit is not giving me green light.
Oh.
So I will.
But the Spirit gave you the green light to give us the highs.
Yes.
But not the lows.
Not the lows.
I hear you. You're still watching The Hard Truth. Stay. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You are still watching The Hard Truth. Founder and leader of the LPG Liberal Party of Ghana, Mr. Percival Akpaloo is here. Kofi, just about your party now. As you're aware, NDC will be opening its nominations for its primaries and presidential primaries scheduled for, I think, May this year. I want to ask when LPG will be having its primaries. But when is that? When are you having your primaries? Or you are going to be endorsed as it happened in 2020?
Oh, definitely it's going to be so. You are going to endorse.
So you won't open for nominations?
Oh, no, officially we have opened.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. So we plan to have our Congress at Kumasi Sports Stadium on the 5th of March. But
So before the Sid March.
yeah, but we have to postpone it.
Why?
So because of one or two reasons, and we're going to communicate back to
So
the
we don't have a
public.
date yet.
No, we have not.
But I see a lot. I've been reading about you a lot in the publications about you going to places, touring the whole of Ghana and giving them the LPG message. What have you been telling them? And I see videos of how people are excited in communities and how they receive and welcome you. What is it? What's it good news about?
Oh yeah, we are talking to them that we're going to create jobs for them. We're going to. It's all about a better tomorrow. It's all about a better tomorrow because we believe as a country we should be able to empower our own to make it right here. Because everybody have this at the back of their mind that until you travel outside, you cannot make it here. It's a lie. It's a fallacy. We believe that if you support our young men and women with the needed resources, they'll be able to do a lot. Somebody have fantastic vision, but they don't even know where to go to get funding.
Right. So what are the common issues that you identified when you visited these areas? Some of the challenges that you saw in the communities that you went.
Yeah,
What are the common ones?
Able young men and women at the appeal bar.
Appeal bar, what's that?
Like Apateshi bar.
Ah, right.
I saw able men and women, young men and women, during working hours, and they are wasting their lives at the Apateshi bar. And when you
Because
go
of
to them,
what?
when you go to them, they will tell you, "Oh, we just finished university. We finished this. We finished that. We finished that."
Wow.
But
There are
there's
no
no
jobs.
job. So I sit down with some and ask them, "What can you do if nobody is employing you?" So maybe we can do this, we can do that, but we don't know where to get help from.
So immediately, are you able to help them, fund them, give them something immediately?
Unfortunately, personally, I'm not rich man. I don't have money. Yeah, but all that I'll tell them is that they see what MPP and NDC have done to their lives. So they can only change their lives if they decide to vote for LPG. Because when I come to office, I'm going to help them start their lives again and get to where they have to be. Because my Bible in the book of Joel chapter 2 verse 28, it says that in the latter days, God is going to pour his Holy Spirit on people. And our old men will have dreams and our young men will have visions. So as a president of this country, I see it as a commanding thing that I should provide all the necessary support funding to anybody who comes up with a vision. Because if you take a person like Elon Musk or what is the name, Mark Zuckerberg, Michael Dell, and all those guys, if they have come from this part of the world, especially Ghana, I'm telling you by now, these guys would really find them at maybe Apoteshiba or maybe we would have wasted them because we don't provide any help. When you have a dream, nobody's ready to help you.
But Kofi,
this thing that you are doing, you see, who has helped you? Who has provided help?
So you help us.
Exactly.
Kofi will help us.
Because even right now, people will think that we just only the two of us are in this room. But there are so many people working here. So if we support people with visions, they'll create the needed jobs for our young men and women.
But Kofi, I'm worried. You have all these fantastic ideas, but do people take you serious?
Oh, yes.
Because let's look at your slogan, Someha, not Someha. What does that even mean?
It means
Someha saying. What does that mean?
It means that one person cannot do everything.
Right.
It's a collective effort. Hold it, let me hold it, and let's do it together. That's all that we're talking about. It has nothing to do with what people are thinking. You understand? It's about bring your ideas, let me add mine, so that this country
let's move forward together.
Let's do it together. Because we believe that we need to create capital. Our problem in Ghana is that we don't create capital. Africa, we don't create capital. We always depend on foreign direct investors. They will bring their money to come and invest and control everything that we have.
The Ghana Beyond Aid, where did it take us? That was what the government was bringing
no, the
in.
Ghana Beyond Aid. Ghana Beyond Aid was just a rhetoric, because you're not doing anything to come up from that. Now you're going back to IMF. Okay? Collectively, if you bring 1 million Ghanaians together and ask them to put their resources together, and you promise them that I'm giving you the oil, we shouldn't allow Tala oil and Adako and Cosmonet only to take everything. Now, I'm Ghanaians. I want you to put your monies together, 1 million Ghanaians, $1,000 each. It's $1 billion. Do you want to tell me an Adako or Cosmonet, they brought $500 million to this country? Newmont, how much did they bring to this country that they are controlling our resources? Everything we just give it to foreign direct investors because we have refused to think as a people that we need to raise our own capital. When you don't have the know-how, technical know-how to manage whatever, we can still employ people who have the know-how and then we pay them so that the ownership stays with us. Everything in Ghana is controlled by foreigners. That's why we are poor. That's why we're not creating jobs for our people. So we need new way of doing things. We have both sides. For all these years, we have been exporting our raw cocoa beans without adding value to it. And even now, before we even buy the cocoa from the farmers, we have to go and borrow syndicated loan to come and buy the cocoa. Do we pay the farmers dollars? Do we pay them cedis or we pay them dollars? So why is that we have to go and borrow dollar before we buy the cocoa? I don't get it. Because some people are making money. Transactional advisors are getting money.
So yes.
So
you have the idea again. How do we break the duopoly? How do we break it?
We will break it.
How?
2024 we are breaking it. Because now the Ghanaians have come to their senses. They've realized that this MPP and NDC, they are deceiving them.
Oh, maybe now, especially the names you hear now, most people's lips is maybe, let's give former President Mahama a chance, to come.
For that one, it's a no-go area.
What happened? So, do you think that could happen?
John Mahama is a no-go area.
Why do you say that?
But you know what he did. He sent us to do so. He destroyed our businesses. He destroyed everything, and then you want to go and bring him back to come and do what? So John Mahama there, Fanatu baby. Let's talk about how we rescue this country. We are going out there, every village, every town, every room. We are telling them about LPG. We are giving them alternative. And Ghanaians are now seeing our
people are raising funds. I'm curious again, how are you raising funds? How are people supporting the campaign? Because you don't have that kind of money for these speakers. So how are you raising the funds for people to support you? God
will provide. Because last time we told Abraham, he said, don't worry, God will provide. So Abraham told Isaac, God will provide. Don't worry. I know what God can do. It's not everything that money will do. Because Ghanaians have resolved that MPP and NDC.
You are done with them.
Oh, yes. In some villages there, we went there and the people were like, we've been waiting for you for far too long. This is what we've been waiting for. When you go to the polling booth,
you have to remember.
Yes, your future. Because somebody will give you 50 cedis today. The 50 cedis for how long? How long? And then when you multiply the 50 cedis by the number of voters in this country, we have about 15 million. And if somebody is giving you 50 cedis, when you multiply the 50 cedis by 50 million, it's 750 million Ghana cedis. And that 750 million Ghana cedis, check the number of factories it can build.
I see. So have you decided on a running mate yet? We still go with Madam Margaret O'Brien Safo. Oh, you're not going with her?
No, not decided yet. Not decided yet.
So you don't have a running mate yet?
No, not yet. We've not.
How changing? You're waiting for God.
Oh no, at the right time. We will let everybody know her.
Finally, what message do you have for the youth who have given up on Ghana and want to travel outside? What would you tell them? I
will tell them that tomorrow will be better.
With Akpaloo.
They should all come together and support LPG. And we will change the dynamics. Because nobody will do it for us. The white people will not do it for you. But MPP and NDC believe that these white people will do it for us.
They won't.
They will never do it for you. They are praying that you continue to be in your abject poverty. But when you keep on being there, your future is at stake. So we are asking the young men and women that they should all rally behind LPG. Let's do this campaign together and let's change the dynamics. Let's change the narrative because this country is for us. We have what it takes. When I become president, I'm going to add value to our bauxite. We are not going to export bauxite on the raw state. We are going to add value to cocoa. We are going to stop importation of even this clothing that we are wearing. Everything that we can produce here, we will support our own people to do it.
So Ghana will be like China.
Oh, yes.
It's possible, huh?
Yes, it's possible.
All right. Thank you, Kofi.
Thank you, Akosua.
That's it for tonight. You've been watching The Hard Truth, and we are proudly brought to you by Enak Studios. My guest has been founder of the Liberal Party of Ghana, Mr. Percival Akpaloo. Catch a repeat of the program on Saturday at 3 p.m. My name is Nana Akosua Konadu. Have a good evening.